All right, you want to interact with it, or you want me to just go through highlights?
Whatever.
Okay.
So, hi guys. They're in Dubai. This is
Okay.
Wayne and Terry.
Hi,
I'll show you
Wayne.
a picture
Hi,
of them
Terry.
later.
Okay.
Alex is probably there too. Diego's still here. So they're moving back from Dubai and they're going to buy this house. So
Okay.
we'll kind of run through punch, and then you'll produce a full report tonight, tomorrow, something like
They'll
that.
have it first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, cool.
They'll have a lot of pictures from what I saw today as well.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Sweet.
So let's just start from the bottom up and go crawl space, foundation. So you've got a good slope coming towards the house at the front.
Yep.
And so accordingly, underneath the home, you've got very little clearance at the front foundation wall, and then it opens up to probably 4.5 to 5 feet at the very back of the house. So that gives you a lot of clearance in the rear area, but not so much at the front. Now there's a couple issues with that. This front left corner underneath I called it the front left study that's adjacent to the garage.
Okay.
This area was so low I did not get underneath it.
Okay. Oh, as far as being in the crawl space to get under it?
To crawl underneath this part.
So I probably would have only made it to mid kitchen or so.
So these other areas you can shoot in channels up to the front beam wall, which is what I did.
Gotcha.
So I was able to see it, but you do have low wood to ground contact at that area.
Okay.
So right now the lumber looks good.
Right.
There's a lot going on with drainage, and we'll talk about that a little bit about that as well. But the foundation overall has had a lot of work done.
Okay.
So there are piers in some areas every 2 to 3 feet, in some areas every 4 to 5 feet. But I don't think you go farther than 5 or 6 feet max without a pier.
That's cool.
So there's a lot of supports that have been added. Now that being said, we do have some slope in the house. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Now slope with a 72 pier and beam is normal.
So is it 72 or 78?
I thought it was 72, but you'd probably know better. Okay.
Yeah,
so
same difference,
with it being a pier and beam that old, back in the 70s, you're going to have some unlevelness.
Yeah.
Now, when I arrived here this morning, the seller said they had an engineer's report signing off on the foundation, and I would think that would be very important on a home like this.
Okay. And it's pretty comprehensive.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So as long as an engineer has evaluated it and said we're good in how we perform, that's as good as we're going to get here.
Okay, cool.
So we do have a combination of piers, and then they even have steel posts at the back of the house.
Okay.
Which is because of the clearance, how much height we have there. So that type of a combination would require an engineer evaluation. So that's good.
What are the are they concrete piers?
They're stacked concrete block piers.
Okay.
Some of them have footings, some of them are just surface mount, and then the steel posts look like pilings, so they go down into the soil. I'm assuming to bedrock.
I think they go down like 12, 14 feet, something like that. Okay. So yeah, probably.
So that's important. Now, because of some of the slope, we have some challenges like this side door. You can see the reveal is off there, and that binds a little bit.
Right.
As you walk towards that front or that back bay window, you can feel the slope in the floor level.
Yeah.
Again, that's pretty normal for a pier and beam.
Right.
They've added a lot of shims on top of the piers.
Okay.
And from what I can see, all of those shims have good contact with the girders.
Cool.
So I have lots of pictures. They'll be in the report.
Beautiful. Are the girders or the beams steel, wood, combination?
Beams are wood.
Okay.
So they're doubled up 2x8s in most cases. In some areas, I believe they're doubled up 2x6s.
Nice. Okay.
So we have a combination, but that's our structure. Now ventilation. Let's talk about that. So the crawl space is exposed to this deck area. You crawl right underneath it.
Oh, okay.
So that's real helpful for airflow at the back.
Okay.
We don't have good air
Airflow
movement on the sides or the front.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, it's pretty stagnant. It's pretty dry. Now, that's pretty normal for a pier and beam to need added ventilation. However, they've done some spray foam on the underside of the subfloor.
Subfloor.
Okay, right here. So they tried to provide some insulation
Okay.
on the underside of what we're walking on. Now, that method is a little bit disputed because
Sure.
what can happen is it'll seal the wood, however thick you spray the foam. In this case, it's about 1 inch to 2 thick.
Okay.
But the floor joists that stick out from that expanding foam have a tendency to sweat.
Oh, okay.
Because that area is sealed, this area is exposed, and we don't have good air movement because insulation by nature limits air movement.
Right. Okay.
So that lumber can get soft. I've seen it get soft before.
So should you scrape the insulation off of it?
I would go back to someone who's familiar with foam applications and just say, hey, is this going to perform properly as it was installed? And they got most areas, but they didn't get up at the very front.
Because they might have not been able to get up
They
there.
might have not been able to get up there.
Dude
So
showed up 2
it's not-
cheeseburgers deep.
It's not all covered.
There.
Most
Okay.
of it's covered, but not all of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Other
So what
than
can
that,
they do to improve circulation down there?
they can do either crawl space vents,
Okay.
or in some cases they can put in fans that draw the
Okay.
air out and are even connected to humidistats, so that once it gets to a
click
certain
on.
humidity level, it regulates and maintains it.
Did it look damp under there?
No.
Okay.
Today it did not look damp,
But
but
it's-
soil's dry as can be.
It's also 110 degrees.
and right, it's just warm.
Right.
And
it
humid.
hadn't rained in a while.
Yeah.
So maybe some crawl space vents over there, and then 1 or 2 fans with hemostats on them.
That would
maybe,
be great.
That would super.
And
amp
that
it
would
up.
and that would ultimately be, you have a foundation specialist out who does fan installations and knows, hey, how much do we need in this type of a layout?
Right. If you wanted to layer it up, because it sounds like I think we've got a pretty comprehensive foundation report too. But I like the secondary recommend because I know you get moisture under there and wood and water and old. It gets weird.
Yeah.
So that's smart with the hemostats. I didn't think about putting hemostats on them so they'll click on.
Yep.
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
That's what a lot of folks do. So as far as our slope, everything's dry underneath. You can see some signs in the soil where water comes through the crawl space from the front to the back of the house.
Okay.
Now I ran water at that driveway to see where it was going to drain on the right and the left.
Okay.
And on the left side, it went into that slat drain in front of the garage.
Good.
Goes into the subsurface drains and comes out at the back retaining wall.
Okay.
All right, below the deck.
So it looks like the French drain's clearing well and
That's right.
Taking a
And
good
I don't
flow
think
rate.
these are French, because I think French would be that perforated black pipe.
Oh yeah, you're
These
right.
are solid.
Oh,
These
okay.
are solid black pipe.
That's cool. So less maintenance on them, as long as you don't get debris topside.
They should last longer.
Okay.
And then on the right side, I ran water on the driveway, and it just kind of went off on the side of the house. It didn't go to a surface drain, but when I put the hose to the gutter downspout subsurface drain connection there at the front right, it came out beneath the deck out here at the back, kind of green belt area as well.
So maybe that 1 inch ag that they have on the side, combined with the gutters being tied in to the solid drain, is what maybe, because I know they've got 4 solid drains, so 2 running down the middle, and then 2 on each side. That they had a serious engineering report that I looked at.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, so that's okay. So that's cool. I'm glad to hear it's all performing and doing what it's supposed to do. And I bet the evidence of running through the crawl space was probably old. It's probably hard to tell because it's so dry.
It is hard to tell. It is hard to tell.
It's so dry. But, I mean, as long as the drains are catching what's existing pushing, that seems to make that seems to be logically performing.
It does. It does look like there's probably below the rocks over here, a drain or a catch basin. But like I said, when I ran the hose there, water didn't come out the black pipe at the back right. It just kind of washed down that right side until I went to the gutter downspout connection.
Okay.
So that's something I would probably verify and make sure it didn't get covered over with debris.
Yeah.
And that it's still catching.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Um,
smart.
So I looked at the jumping up to the roof. The shingles look real good on the house.
Okay.
Now, the slope of the roof above the front pull-through is less than what you typically would use for composition shingles.
Okay.
The rule of thumb is anything that's got a pitch that's more than 212 it's okay to do shingles.
Right.
All right. This is about 1.4, 1.3 over 12. So it's real slight.
Yeah. Okay.
It's real slight.
On just the front
Just
overhang.
the front pull-through.
Okay.
Yeah, over the driveway. So composition shingles don't seal real well on a flat surface.
Yeah.
In that case, it would have been better to use what they did above this back bay window, which is either a modified bitumen or rolled roofing.
Oh, okay.
That flat material is made for anything that's got the more flat pitch than a 212.
What if you came back and did like a raised metal seam? Could you do that
Absolutely.
later down the road? I bet that'd look good on the front too.
You sure could.
Okay.
Yeah,
So maybe
metal's
run
great for
with it
that.
till it doesn't perform, and then know that you're going to need to replace the decking. But if you see it leaking consistently, then maybe come back later, replace your decking, put your felt, put your raised seam metal or your copper or something on top of it. Because it's probably a half a square. You probably didn't measure it.
I don't know, that pull-through's pretty good size.
It might be a whole square.
I think it's probably 20 feet wide, and probably protruding, I'm going to say 16 or 18 feet out.
Oh, okay.
So
it
it's a
might
good,
be-
it's
it
a
might-
good, it's a good amount.
It might be a good little 4 squares.
It's a good amount.
Maybe that's what, so they put raised seam metal on it before. They might have looked at that price and went, Because as soon as I said copper, they can do it 4 squares. They do 4 squares of copper. Nah, that's not gonna work.
So
Okay,
right now I don't see any signs of leaking.
Okay.
It's just the
Recommended
it's more
pitch.
prone. That's right.
Okay,
Shingles are
gotcha.
more prone to develop a leak on that flat of a pitch.
Okay.
The other thing that I didn't see on the roof was where the shingles tie into that stone veneer wall. I don't see good cut-in flashing there.
Okay.
Now, it looks like there might be flashing beneath the shingles at that area, but they don't extend up to the wall, and usually they cut them into the stone,
Right.
so that anything that's coming down, wind-driven rain,
Right.
doesn't have the ability to penetrate at that seam. So that seam has real thick sealant right now. So they did do a very short section of cut-in flashing at the front left.
Okay. Probably when
and
they did the
that
garage.
looks right. That's
Okay.
right on. But we don't have that across that front center area. And I would, want to know, did this owner install the stone? Was it already here when they moved here?
Because you don't really have the ability to verify it without taking
Removing
roofing materials
shingles
off. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I tried to get underneath the shingles to see the flashing, and I could only get the top layer up, so I couldn't see
Yeah,
underneath.
You can't dig deeper than that.
No.
Okay.
So,
So something to be aware of.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the condition of the roof. Other than that, you have 10 skylights on this house.
Nice.
They look good. They
Okay.
look good. Some of
Inside
the-
and outside? Both. There's no cracks in any of them?
I don't see cracks on any of them.
Okay.
They've put some of a tint film on the skylights in some areas, but not in all. It looks like these used to be tinted, but they pulled down the film.
Okay.
Some of the lower flashings need to have fasteners.
Okay.
So they're lying flat, but they're not secured to the roof right now. So
Okay.
I would put in fasteners, at least at the bottom corners, to hold them flat.
Okay.
And to prevent any type of a wind-driven rain from getting up in there.
Yeah, and those fasteners always pop about every 4 or 5 years.
They do.
You walk around and you'll see them sitting and
Yep.
everywhere else. So, okay, cool.
So that's our roof. Now your heating and air systems, we've got a combination. So you've got this mini split that's been added that is connected to a condenser at the back center here at the deck. That's cooling real well. That gave us a split of 18 degrees today.
Cool.
The filter does need to be cleaned on this underneath the cover here.
Is that a replace? Oh, it's a
washable.
permanent. Oh, that's
It's a
cool.
washable filter. So that needs to be cleaned out, but that is performing well.
What's the recommended cleaning on that? 30 days?
I would probably check it monthly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Especially if you have pets.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Especially if you have pets. Now the system that runs the main downstairs is what I called it.
Okay.
Goes all the way over to I believe they have that labeled the bonus room. At the
Yoga
back left.
room, whatever,
Yes.
yeah.
So the main system covers from that bonus room wall all the way over through the bedrooms.
Okay.
Okay. Now that's an older style system that's still using R22.
Is it this one or this one?
It's this one.
The big Linux over here?
The Ream.
Oh, okay.
The Ream.
So it's a Ream R22?
It's a Ream R22.
Okay.
So the refrigerant's phasing out next year.
Right.
Right. It's your final year. But you can still get it, but it'll be more expensive.
Well, I heard it's going to be banned January 1st, 2020. That you won't be allowed to have it at all. But I don't know.
They've got to make it available past that.
So what we do is get a home warranty
Okay.
that has the R410A conversion coverage on it.
Great.
And I tell people, hey, keep it in effect for 12 to 24 months, and then past that, it's just, I mean, you're kind of assuming liability for it, and understand that like it's going to possibly be hard to be serviced at that time. Like, if it develops a Freon leak, like we can still change compressor, or we can still clean things and move it around, but like if you need a compressor change or something like that, like you're gonna, well, some of them you can put the conversion kits on too. So sorry. Anyway, yes, Ream R22.
So that system gave us too big of a split. So we like to be between about 16 to 22 is what I like. I like that's the sweet spot. It's coming in about 24 degrees.
Okay.
So it's cooling.
Yeah.
But the split's too large, and I don't see any filter in use for this system.
Anywhere?
Anywhere. There's a return register in the hallway, no filter there. There's a blower compartment at the bottom of this system here, no filter there. So no filter, maybe they meant to change it and they didn't put it in, but we don't have a filter in use. That could contribute to why we're getting the split the way we do.
Are they normal sizes?
Yeah.
So probably once you put filters in the middle perform,
it would help for sure. But now any debris that's come into that return air vent has passed to the coil. So we recommend servicing on the system to get it back into the split.
How did you look at the coil at all? Not really.
No.
Okay.
No, because it's enclosed and it's in that closet, so you don't have much access, right?
True.
Now that primary condensate drain line doesn't go to a plumbing drain or outside. It's just dumping below the house.
Okay, in the crawl space.
So is this one.
Okay.
All right, they're just, so right now water's dripping out between both. You don't want that. That's considered a draw for wood destroying insects too.
Oh, so that popped on WDI, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I just take a PVC and terminate farther out?
It should go either to a gravel bed outside the footprint of the house or to a plumbing drain.
So probably...
Okay. And you can get to, there's plumbing drains here in the vicinity of each of those drain lines that they can tap into if they wanted to do that.
Gotcha.
So, other than that, the third system that covers the bonus room and the master bedroom, that's all one system. That's working well. Gave us a good split today as well. The filter is dirty on that one also.
Okay.
There's one in place. It's a good 4-inch, but it's dirty, so I've recommended servicing on that one too.
Okay.
Okay. As well as far as heat, we've got electric heat over here in the bonus room master. That's working well.
Cool.
Gas heat here at the main system downstairs, and that's performing, but we don't have good combustion air in that closet.
Oh, because it's closed?
Well, it's closed, and they went ahead and they foamed the attics. Okay, so whereas we used to be able to go, well, let's just put a 4 or 5 inch vent and bring it down from the attic. Now our attic's closed.
Oh.
So we can't bring combustion air from the attic. We've got to bring it from the outside. Well, that closet that contains the water heater and the gas-fired furnace, both of those are using just one air duct to bring in combustion air. And it's only about 4 inch. So that's not enough for those appliances.
Probably should be twice that?
It should at least twice. So I would bring in, heating and cooling specialists for that system to see what it would take to bring in enough combustion air for that appliance to run properly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. In here?
Yep. And over to the left is one duct they brought in. You see that?
Okay, yeah.
Halfway down. But that's all we've got there.
Oh, man. So that is just pulling from nothing?
So typically, when you start introducing spray foam, you've got to go from regular efficiency gas appliances to high efficiency gas appliances. That way you can have PVC vents that shoot straight up through the roof that are concentric, that can draw in combustion air while they vent.
Right.
And in this case, that would work good there, but that one's still working. That's still in effect. It is an older system.
So maybe you just run it till it...
Right. So we've got to get some air in that closet so that it doesn't use, it's got to be coming from the outside.
Yeah. You don't want to combust inside air because it gets weird.
Yeah.
If there's gas or something like that.
Water
could
heater.
you run it as a plumbing penetration now? Out of the roof?
You could.
Okay.
You could go straight out that way and draw in combustion air that way.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's sometimes why you see like those PVC vents that are U-shaped, because they're pulling in air, but they're also not allowing rainwater to enter.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So this water heater is a 2015 conventional standard tank unit. The pan drain line stops in the crawl space, and the T&P runs out about 8 feet, 10 feet below the deck. It'd be good to get it all the way out versus dumping below the deck. Again, same issue, just cause of if that discharges, it really should be outside the footprint.
Okay.
The water heater's working good. That one's updated. Now upstairs they've got
electric,
gas.
Gas downstairs. Okay.
Yep. So same concern with combustion air there.
Duh, combustion air. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Upstairs they've got an electric tankless. I've only seen that style once, and it was put in that. They're typically intended for commercial or multifamily applications.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so I'm not real familiar with them because of that.
Okay.
But as I tested the unit for the master bath, I got good hot water at the tub and the shower, but I didn't get good hot water at the sinks. It wasn't very hot. And then at the shower, and again, this may be a mixing valve issue at the shower, but I didn't get any cold. I had either warm or hot at the shower. It wouldn't give me cold. So we've got a couple different things there, but I would probably just refer to the manufacturer on that to make sure that system's going to work well for a residential, master bath situation like what we have here.
Maybe it's running too hot. Maybe turn it down a little bit and then get the mixes right on the sinks in the shower. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
The electrical panels have been updated. They're in the garage.
Okay.
There's 5 240 volt breakers that are currently turned off. Okay. Now, at least 1 or 2 of them don't have any wires going to them, so they've been abandoned.
Okay.
But the other 3 do. So I would just go back and try to get some history on that. That's a lot of breakers to have off in a panel.
Yeah.
So, what used to be connected to these? Why are they not in use anymore? Where are the wires terminating?
Yeah, where are they terminating?
Where
Especially on 240, that's that special wake you up in the morning.
Yeah.
Make sure we got that.
So we just need to ask that question. The panels did work well for me. They're grounded to a ground rod here at the front. The electrical disconnects aren't in the garage. The main shutoffs, they're at the front of the house.
Oh, cool.
So I would put little padlocks on those so that somebody can't throw the power from the outside.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay.
Okay.
I just like when they're outside because they're easier to
get to.
All the stuff stacked in front of them, right?
Right.
I don't normally stack in front of my electrical panels, but
that's a fire hazard.
Yeah. Sometimes you got jet skis parked there or whatever and kind of shimmy over it. So cool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's our electrical panels. With the work that's been done in the house, so we've had several, kind of bump outs or additions.
This is probably one.
Right. This was one, and the framing looks older here underneath.
Okay, on this one?
Yeah, the framing underneath the bonus room looks much more current and recent.
Okay, so they probably did the yoga and the garage at the same time?
I'm guessing so.
Okay.
That's right. So I would just go back and see what kind of permits we can get for work done, if they have any. Again, if they've had an engineer here, did he just evaluate foundation, or did he also do second floor? We've got some sloping in this header right here. You know, it's a little bit low for a tall person. I'm not that person, but it's about 6'4".
Okay.
So again, usually you're going to have more head height at these areas, but just to make sure that from the work that has been done, it was done right.
Okay.
Okay. Final thing that I'll just go over verbally, and everything else will be in the report. I looked for wood destroying insects. I don't have anything active as far as termites. I do see they have been chewing on some wood scraps in the crawl space, kind of over underneath this breakfast nook area. So we do have a lot of wood debris beneath the house that needs to be taken out.
Okay.
Now, I did find some carpenter ants on the back side of the house.
Okay.
Now, I didn't find an infestation of carpenter ants. I also didn't find frass or damaged wood from carpenter ants. I just found some ants.
Just kind of hanging out.
2 or 3 carpenter ants on the back side of the house that show me they're here.
Yeah.
You know, they're here. So they have one anode. They are carpenter. So we don't know if they're scouts or if there's more of them somewhere that we didn't see today.
So maybe we do a pest application on the backside to protect against the woods.
Right, because you got a lot of deck. There's a lot going on back there.
Yeah, we don't want to get an infestation going on, especially with those carpenters.
And this house is tricky as far as wood destroying insects go because the lot slopes like this. They've come down with wood. And in many cases, it's directly in contact with the soils.
Yeah.
So that's just a food source for them. And there's a lot of hidden areas with all of that stacked concrete block piers that have been added. They can go up in the middle of those, and you wouldn't even see them if you're crawling underneath because they can access through the centers.
So, since you know pest applications, we used to take a sulfur water mixture, put it in pump sprayers, and then go spray along the edges where the wood was in contact with the ground, and then around all the posts because they don't like the sulfur. It wouldn't necessarily kill them, but it would just kind of keep them away.
It's a deterrent.
Yeah, and I had people say, they're like, oh, the sulfur will wash away, and I'm like, the way I was mixing it, it wasn't really, like, it was pretty cakey. Like, it would clog up our sprayers, and we'd clean them out and air compressor them out and then screw them back on and keep going. I wonder if that would be beneficial, or if that was just something that my papa made us do because he was bored. And
I haven't heard of that combination before. You know, they've had really great results with termiticides.
Can't get diazinon anymore, but
Termidor is supposed to be some of the best now. They even say with Termidor, if you want your neighbor to get a treatment, because if your neighbor gets a treatment, chances are they're going to leave you alone because they just do not like that stuff.
Okay.
So it's potent.
So maybe you run a quarterly pest application because you got so much wood.
I would encourage that. I would encourage having a regular inspection and maintenance on this.
So maybe do an annual inspection and then a quarterly app, and then just have them take care of it, especially and maybe go ahead and get the crawl space add-on while you're at it.
Now they have had ABC Pest out, and they've installed bait stations around the perimeter. If you see those, so I'd go back and see if they've got an ongoing maintenance contract.
Oh yeah,
with ABC.
Right on.
Reason being, if it's being monitored, bait stations are good. If they're not being monitored, they're actually just a food source.
Right.
So I would want to find out history on that.
Thank you.
Plumbing wise, we look good. There are 2 areas beneath the house where I was crawling and I smelled some sewer gas, and I looked up and there's a section of sewer line that was rerouted and never capped.
Oh.
So we've got 2 areas that need the PVC drain pipe needs caps.
Oh, it just literally needs the 3 or 4 inch cap? Oh, okay.
It used to go up to either a vent or some plumbing fixture of some sort, and now it's just open.
Oh, they just didn't cap it?
Didn't cap it.
Oh.
So we've got two
Maybe
of those.
just tired that day or didn't have a cap.
Just probably missed it because
Yeah.
it's kind of up near the floor. So.
Yeah, and probably dude just loaded his tools and forgot.
Yep.
Okay.
So those are really the highlights. I'll have, all the smaller items in the report.
Cool.
Pictures, and then if you all have any questions, you can call me to go over any of these things.
Do you know what Marco Polo is?
Yeah, like when you're in the swimming pool looking for the...
I'll show you the app in a minute.
I've got the app on my phone.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. They use Marco Polo a lot.
Okay.
So, and then because the time difference is 9 hours, so like it's not the middle of the night, but it's getting pretty late in Dubai.
Okay.
Right now, and then but we'll coordinate that out and figure it out. So,
Okay.
all right, cool.
Well, thank you for letting me do this.